So a second bid from Forest goes in for a centre-back. There's talks about a revitalised interest in Mateta from Crystal Palace. Welcome to your Forest transfer news. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. Coming up, we'll give you all the rumours on the Mateta stuff. Is he coming to Forest? Forest wanted him earlier on this year and so on and so forth. And apparently Forest have had a first bid rejected for a defender from Serie A and are expected to go in with a second one as well. So make sure you've done the usual stuff. You know what you need to do down there. Check out OK Jerseys as well. Get your World Cup shirts in time for the World Cup. We're only like 9 days away from it. Go check out the link. Okay, let's jump into it and let's start with Mateta. Now, I don't know how much I believe this one. Okay, I'll start there. And by the way, again, let me explain. When I'm doing these videos, I'm bringing you the news, the discussion, so then we can discuss them, the rumors and everything else. If I think they're strong, I'll tell you. If I don't think they're strong, I'll tell you they're not, and so on, right? So before you guys, honestly, some weird comments come through. But Mateta, Forest wanted him for the backstory in January. This is when Chris Wood was still injured. Mateta didn't want to play for that crappy club Crystal Palace. He wanted out of there. He nearly got out. He got a bid accepted and terms agreed with AC Milan. He then went and did his medical and his knee was all busted up or something. He needed an operation. So the deal fell through. He then went back to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, the fans there didn't want him back because he didn't want to play for them, just like they didn't want Glasner. Yet they all sat there celebrating when he scored the winner for him in that crappy Conference League. So it's a bit crazy right now. But anyway, point is he's still got 1 year left on his deal. Palace were looking at the time, I think, for 30+ million for him when the whole AC Milan Forest stuff was going on. And right now, they haven't been able to agree new terms to extend his deal. This is not to say that the deal can't get extended. Maybe now if Crystal Palace getting Europa League football and so on, he may have more interest in staying there. However, if Crystal Palace are going to sell him, they'll have to sell him at a lower price than that. The 28-year-old currently is valued at around £25 million. So you could probably see a deal where it's 20 million plus 5 in add-ons. Something like that could reasonably happen. And I think that would be a great deal. He scores goals in the Premier League proven, still in his 20s, 28 years old. And yeah, I wouldn't be against it. Because I look at our current Strike Force portfolio. I worry about Chris Wood in terms of staying fit next season, how many games we're going to get out of him, and everything else like that. I look at Taiwo. I know you guys love glazing Taiwo, but I still just don't see a natural born finisher there. Jesus, for me, has shown more in the 10 than he does in the 9. And then Callum Owendo's probably going to leave Forest anyway. So I think we need, one, to clear out a couple of spaces. And then secondly, we need to bring in some quality. And I've always liked Mateta. And I thought Mateta would be a good profile when we had Nuno in charge. He would have fit into that system. And I think under a Pereira system, he would fit as well. But I go back to the point that on this one, I'm not saying to you guys that this is Ornstein level or I've heard it from someone or whatever. But there's a lot of talks and rumours now that Forest are going to be interested. Now, other clubs that were interested will probably still be interested again. Maybe AC Milan look at it and think to themselves, okay, we got everything agreed. We know what he wants on personal terms. And now his knee's sorted out, we can bring him over to AC Milan. We'll just have to wait and see on this one, but keep an eye on it. One that is progressing is this young chap here, centre-back from Roma. Now, I'm going to try and say his name. Jan, that's the easy bit. Zilikowski, something like that. Okay, he plays at Roma. They picked him up for €6 million, I think it was, last season. And they don't really want to move him on, but if they do, they want to sell him for around £17 million, 20 million euros, around that kind of mark. So he played 18 times for Roma last season. Good centre back. I can't say I've seen too much of him or he stuck out in my mind that much, but a young profile that Forest would like. Now, I don't actually think we're desperately in need of centre backs. We got Murillo, who signed his new contract. Obviously, Milenkovic, M&M there pairing up. And then there is Morato. I don't mind Morato going And if he does, we've still got Jair Cunha, who I highly rate. You got Tyler Binden, who's come back from his loan spell at that scummy Sheffield club. And then there'll be one or two others. Zach Abbott as well can be in the mix. So I don't think we're necessarily desperate for a centre-back. Where I think we need reinforcements is on the wings, is up front. But if an opportunity comes like this for £17 million, it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one to go after. Now, the story itself says that Forest did bid a lower price for him. And now Roma have come back and said, if you want to go in for him, we need around £17 million. It's expected that Forest are going to put a second bid in for him around that mark to see if they can get it over the line. Now, sorry, my throat still. Anyway, now Roma are cash strapped, so they will have to make some sales this transfer window. So this could be an opportunistic market for Forest to go into to try and get a good deal out of him. But then we go back to the whole thing. Is he proven? Is he going to be physical enough? Is he going to get much game time at Forest? You know, all those usual questions. I don't mind defenders coming from Serie A. I think they tend to do okay in the Premier League. I mean, we've got a prime example in Milenkovic. Got him in from Fiorentina a couple of years ago. And literally game one, boom, just slots straight in with no problems. So, look, you can't profile everyone based on one person. But there are plenty of examples where players have done well in the Premier League when they've come from Serie A. And there's also going to be examples where obviously they haven't. So in general, I'm not against this one, but it just doesn't excite me. Where I think our focus needs to be is those wingers. Wingers, and a striker. And then obviously whatever happens with Anderson, we got to take that into account. Now, there is some rumours floating around, just quickly speaking on Anderson, that Man City are going to cool their interest in him because they can't match what Marinakis wants them to pay for Anderson, which is 115. Love it. The irony of it. Charging Man City 115. You gotta love the Greek father. How true all those are, I don't know. But again, this stage of the season, expect just to hear a lot of rumours. So I can't confirm or deny that fact. But with the World Cup only 9 days away, I still fully expect nothing to happen with Anderson until after the World Cup. Right now, his focus is going to be on England, getting into that first team, getting prepared for the matches and everything else. So all these little kind of niggly rumours about Anderson, I'd take them with a pinch of salt right now because I don't think there's going to be much in it. It'd be very weird if Anderson, who's been dying to play at the World Cup, who's really looking forward to it and everything else, is at the same time trying to focus where his next move lies. So I'm not saying he's staying for sure, but if Man City's interests have cooled, because maybe they get relegated with the 115, maybe, just maybe, Anderson will run out of suitors and ends up at Forest. But we'll keep you posted on that. Get all your thoughts in. What do you think of this centre-back? Let me know in the comments. What do you think of Mateta? Would you take him at Forest? Make sure you've liked and subscribed, and we'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.